This section, the next 4 programs, are what I call the wind party. And I've always wanted to do this, but it's always hard to get the musicians that I need at the right time. So we have basically a wind quintet: flute, oboe, clarinet, horn, and bassoon for the next 4 programs, mostly because I wanted to do these 3 great big pieces with piano. So you're gonna hear on program 3, you're gonna hear the Beethoven Quintet for piano and winds. Early Beethoven, incredible stuff. And it's so hard to program this stuff because we rarely have those people in place. So the wind party will begin on program 3 with this Beethoven Quintet, and we'll open that concert. Again, this is incredibly, well, it's very selfish of me. You get to do stuff you really like, and I love
the best stuff to do.
I love Viennese waltzes, and specifically the music of Joseph Lanner, who was sort of the precursor. He was the original Viennese waltz king. You think about Strauss, the Strauss brothers, Blue Danube, all that stuff, incredible. But Joseph Lanner really started it going, and he wrote these Landlers. He basically took folk dances from the country and brought them to Vienna. And the original forms of these waltzes, which we usually hear in full orchestrations now, were for 3 violins or 2 violins and viola and double bass. And the reason was you could stroll. Everybody could stand and walk around. So we're going to have this Dornbacher Landler by Joseph Lanner for 3 violins and bass to open this concert, and dancing is encouraged. And then Lisa Weilerstein will return, and since she left us last year, she's been awarded the MacArthur Genius Award, and justifiably so. She's one of the...
Became world famous.
She's one of the great, and we're so honored and lucky that she's... You know, when you get paid 50 grand a concert now to come back to Charleston to hang out, but it's just, it sort of sums up, you know, what it's all about here. Friends coming together to make music, so we're thrilled that Lisa has made time to come. And she'll be playing the Stravinsky Suite Italienne, which was basically a suite that he worked on with Gregor Piatigorsky, the great Russian cellist, arranged from his Pulcinella suite. And it was a great moment for Stravinsky. He was inspired by listening to the music of Pergolesi, and a lot of the tunes and melodies are directly stolen, openly stolen from Pergolesi. But I just got to read this quote by Stravinsky, which you'll probably hear on stage if you come to the show. He said that the epiphany through which the whole of my late works became possible was listening to this Baroque music by Pergolesi. Now, we've since discovered that it wasn't actually by Pergolesi. These trio sonatas were by this guy Gallo. But it doesn't really matter because it's great music. So I thought we sort of have a window inside the mind of a composer. We're going to play the Pergolesi Gallo Trio Sonata, on which Puncellano was based, followed immediately by the real thing, the Suite Italienne. So I think that'll be sort of an interesting and little window inside of the mind of a great composer. Mm-hmm. So that's program 3. And program 4, another arrangement, this time a rather comical one, of Strauss Till Eulenspiegel. Incredible orchestra work for, I think it's 130-piece orchestra. It's gigantic.
Huge.
So the concept of arranging it for quintet, which even without piano, is hilarious. And so this guy Hassenhor made this arrangement, which is sort of tongue-in-cheek but incredibly effective at the same time. He not only made it shorter, but he reduced it in size dramatically, and calls it a grotesque musicale. It's sort of tongue-in-cheek, but it's very fun. And that will be followed by something not fun at all. Mozart D minor, Kerschel 421 string quartet, the greatest and most emotionally inspired of Mozart's quartets. Anything Mozart wrote in minor was incredibly meaningful and powerful, and this is no exception. And then speaking of powerful, Lisa playing the cello solo movement from the Quartet for the End of Time, which is this, he says, praise to the eternity of Jesus, and Messiaen and the score marks, infinitely slow. So it's this seamless line of prayer-like beauty that, well, Elisa does it better than anyone I've ever heard. It's really incredible. And then we'll end, to lighten things considerably, part of our wind party, the Poulenc Sextet for piano and wind quintet, which is a virtuoso display and super fun and bubbly, with our all-star wind quintet. So that ends program 4.